Hey everybody, welcome back to another Stone-Faced Reactions. I'm Griffin, that's Theta, and we're here to watch some Durarara. Thanks to BPrinsta for go ahead and sponsoring this episode. We got a special tier for that, so if you're interested, go ahead and get on board with that. Give us the money, and we'll watch whatever you want. We got some comments here today from the War on Reactors from the episode Highly Unpredictable, who says, Japanese is broken down into mostly two-letter sounds, consonant and then vowel, and then there are three letters, chi, shi, su, kyu, and singles, a, e, I, u, o, and n. Ibikakura would be ikebukuro, ikebokoro.
I appreciate this. The method of this is you say something wrong, then read it out pronunciation wise, and then phonetically.
Yeah, this is like trying to say it like three times in a row here. It's not going to play while rating off, but we have Toyota, karaoke.
Wait, no. Read it the way it is. Don't go down the list. Read it.
Toyota is not Toy-Ota, but Toyota. Karaoke is karaoke, which then is parenthesis karaoke. And then isekai, which goes into three syllables, isekai, isekai.
No, isekai. I see ka I say kai.
Iseki.
Yes, you said isekai, isekai, isekai. It's not what they wrote at all. They wrote isekai, which is how we say it. They wrote I, C, ka, I, and then phonetically I say kai.
I feel, War Reactors is trolling us to say this. Thank you. Thank you for giving us the phonetic lesson.
It's not trolling. Well, literally, I talked about before when I was saying I tried to learn Japanese, and I said
Yeah, yeah.
a lot of Japanese from the as far as I got was literally just two-letter combinations, and you say each two letters separately, and they've corrected and then added onto there. And you're calling it trolling. You're calling education trolling. I don't know why.
I know, because I feel like I'm just sitting here trying to do a learning lesson on live,
Well, you are. This is a
Look, I
learning
can't learn
lesson.
a second lesson if I don't even know one.
This is the lesson. I don't know what you're talking about.
I mean, can't learn a second language if I don't know one, right?
Well, you could. You just
How many times
forget.
have I mispronounced things in English, Theta?
Well, I think we're just beyond learning new languages. I know some people say you can learn anything, anytime, but I mean, it's more of a old dogs, new tricks scenario here. Is that nothing's gonna get in?
Yeah, but like, some things like are easier than others. Like I know like French, Spanish, like those are slightly more related to English, but they're like there's still a romance language bubble. Like I understand more readily how to pronounce those just because like my brain just kind of works better in that direction, I think. Here we're stockating each two like letter syllable here into their own thing. Like that requires me to like twist my brain a whole lot, I think.
The language I tried to learn when I was in high school was German, and I recently watched a video of a bunch of European countries saying the same word in their language, and they all sound the same except German.
Right,
Which
because it
just
has completely different roots.
which then tells me that I picked the language out that I wouldn't be helped with in any. I think I linked you before a comic panel of Stay Still, Stay Silent, which used to be one of my favorite comics online,
Uh-huh.
where specifically it takes place in the Nordic Northern European countries, and
hmm
they go to lengths to do like a language example because one of the main things of the comic is how everyone speaks different languages,
Yeah, yeah.
and so communication is an issue. And they show the three main countries that take place in the show and how their languages are almost exactly the same, except for maybe one might add an E, one might add whatever the two dots represent in the pronunciation.
Yeah, yeah, the little umlauts.
And I can't remember which is the odd one out amongst them, but the fourth language, it's just fucking completely different. It's it has like the same almost base. It's like just adjacent countries, but like Germany and Europe,
Hmm.
different roots to the language. So,
Yeah. And if like you were to like hang out in like Eastern Europe more, like you would probably definitely get more of a benefit from German because then a lot of other things are going to be more similar from there, right?
well, no, it's the opposite. That the other European languages are similar to each other. German is odd one out. So if you only learn German, you'd be fucked everywhere else. Same thing with the stay still, stay silent. All the other northern Nordic languages are similar to one another. But if you learn the
Mhm.
other one, and I can't remember which one it is, I want to say Denmark.
Finnish, I think, right?
I cannot remember off the top of my head, but the point being that if you learned it, you would be unaided in any future conversations.
Right. So, with our language study done for the day, Duolingo has given me 3 points right there. Let's do a quick recap. Last episode was highly unpredictable, where it is the entrance ceremony for Raira Academy, and at the auditorium swells with a mixed variety of emotions emitted from the students. I feel that doesn't quite illustrate what happened during the episode. You know what I mean?
It was Finnish. Finnish is the odd one out between Icelandic, Danish, Norwegian, and Swedish.
But Theta, how would you actually describe the episode last time? It wasn't just everyone hanging out in the auditorium, right?
That was the beginning of the episode, and there was very important stuff happening in the auditorium. Well,
Right,
specifically
right.
one character being a
But
creeper.
the meat of the story is following this one character, their family, their little struggles, and like I guess what we declared was their nosiness.
Well, let me preface this to you, Griff, then. We don't know the entirety of the show. What if the auditorium scene was the important part of the episode, and the rest of this was a side story?
Then the show's already tricked me. It's already won. But we follow through with this girl, her like attempted suicide, being pushed and by one person and then saved by the Dullahan.
Dulan.
Or yeah, or what I'll call the Dullahan. What do they call the character in the show, like the Black
What
Rider or
I hear
something,
you
wasn't it?
saying is doll hand, and I'm saying doula hand. Pronunciation guide, Griff.
Again, I gotta learn one language first.
Well, it's like a proper noun, so technically you don't have to learn the language.
Right. But still, we're seeing like some of the weirdness happening with like this supernatural element stuff. And it's slowly intersecting some of the more normal people who are apparently now being exposed to this world.
What is normal?
I guess it'd be all the gray people walking around.
Well, I think it's going to lead us into Theta's thoughts then. Because the only Theta's thought
Let's
I actually
go.
have. Well, first off, actually, let's do this.
Concept board time. Let's go. So we're gonna go ahead and pull up this and see what what have you associated here so far? What have we got? Concept board taking its time to load.
Say,
There we go.
I make it, you describe it.
All right, so we got a whole bunch of connected kids who are all related. Let's see. So which one was our focal character last time? It wasn't Rio. It was one with glasses, wasn't it? Where? Okay, there we go. That was our focal character from last time,
Nope.
right?
You want to guess
No?
again?
Ah, come on. Give me a hint.
You were more right earlier than you are now.
Wait, Rio?
There you go.
Okay. There we go. So, my bad
I guess
memory
one
aside.
could argue she was the almost focal point character in the first episode, too.
Yeah, a little bit. But
What do you
let's
mean a little
see.
bit? Half the story followed her in the first episode.
Episode 1, we just got introduced to a whole bunch of people as like a neighborhood, right? Where we have at least these two here.
Well, not really a
Um,
neighborhood. I mean, sort of a
Mikato's the
neighborhood, but
new
it's more
kid.
about the one kid's backstory and his relationship to his friend from 4 years ago, 5 years ago.
Yeah. So I'm just trying to like put this all into like perspective here because we have like what was essentially an introduced neighborhood. Then we focus on Rio, the kidnap victim from last time. We got like a group here, which is apparently a bunch of assholes. These two here, which are apparently working together. And then this crazy jerk. Izia is the one who was trying to tempt Rio into jumping, right? Is that correct? Is that the right character?
Well, I mean, he didn't tempt her. He brought her up to the
Well,
roof and then he pushed her.
okay. So, correct character at the very least. So, episode 2 was kind of just this bubble, and episode 1 is sort of this bubble.
No, most of these people were in episode 2.
Gosh, no.
I mean,
I'm just trying to figure out.
she didn't even show up until episode 2.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and take a different time. Let's focus on relationships here. We have same class, so we have people in the same classroom. These people go to school together. These two go to school together. All right. Pretty
I
straightforward.
feel like I've laid this out so specifically so you couldn't make easy the circles.
How dare you? How dare you?
Look, I'm getting better and better at my concept board making skills as time goes on.
Right. With all the questionable ones, I think I could go ahead and just I guess the one that matters the most would be Ryu to Izia here, right?
Well, look, I know he
These
tried to
two,
get her to commit suicide and told her she wasn't interesting, but I'm not really leveled yet on what the relationship is there.
right? Because I'm not even sure what Izia's goal was in all of that. What was he actually after? Is he just an asshole looking for kicks? Is this all part of like some sort of magical thing he's doing? Is he just a weirdo? I don't know.
I mean, the vibe I got was entertainment, but I don't know. And who
True.
knows if Ryu doesn't come out of this like that was a learning experience and appreciating him for it. I can't take anything for granted. So until she like, comes out and says it or indicates, I'm not. I don't know.
Yeah. Meanwhile, like all the classmates being like questionably related to each other. Yeah, that's fair. And until like they say more, that's fine. And then of course our only real enemies here are just basically the entire motorcycle conspiracy. This whole thing right here. Izia hires a group of kidnappers. The kidnappers are opposed to Ryu. And then Celti is opposed to all the kidnappers. Okay, checks out.
But he's
As
allied
far
with
as
Celti and the kidnappers,
yeah.
and she's allied to him, but not the kidnappers.
So let's see. Which direction do the arrows go? Yeah, Izia hired Celti, but that's not like a very positive relationship here. They don't like each other. I'm pretty sure of that, right?
Why would you say that? He literally tells her what to do.
And then she texted back like, "You're an asshole," basically.
Doesn't mean they're not on work. They have an existing relationship. And remember,
Right.
green doesn't mean that you like the person. It means that you're an ally to the person.
Right.
And she
They
literally
work
does
together.
everything he says.
So if I were to put like group bubbles down, this is kind of what I would have to do if I were to like factionalize people for some reason. It's like, okay, so we have Shinkra and Celti here on one side, Izia and his little gang over here, and then I have to go, so where are we going with this? What is this? What is our purpose here so far? And the answer is I don't know yet.
Well, remember that the show description focuses on the classroom stuff,
That is true.
which is
How
up
do all
here.
of these kids relate to this nonsense, right? That I think is our ongoing question, and we'll probably get there today. But Theta, you have some thoughts.
Now I have one thought. I remember we were trying to come up with a theory about the gray background people after last episode due to a comment.
Uh-huh.
Do they ever interact with the characters at all? That's all I really have to go on at the moment. Main character bumps into one in the first episode, but he just walks off while Ryu is apologizing and doesn't even look at him.
I think last episode, because we were alerted to that, I don't think any of them directly like interacted with anyone who was grayed out. They did not like look at, say something, and address them in any way. But the gray characters like occasionally like looked over and said, "Oh, conversation," and that's about it.
The gray characters also only exist in certain places. Like the school doesn't have any gray characters.
Yeah. So something is going on, and again, mystery. So, Theta, that's your thought for the day. We know where the characters stand. We're moving in, and we got to see what does the show surprise us with today. So I say, let's go ahead and watch. But before we do, be sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and comment down below to feed that algorithm. On top of all that, if you watch more shows like this, unfiltered, uncensored, and uncut, you can go ahead and follow us over on the Patreon. It's only $5 a month, but no pressure. It's also for the channel, so it's a little bit extra.
Click the link down below. Join the Discord. Toss BPrinsta thanks as well if you enjoy this show.
I like that we just instinctively start head bobbing to it.
It's a beat. I mean,
It
it's literally a beat. But no thoughts, Griff. Thoughtless Griff, as we call you.
Completely thoughtless. What I'm actually doing is I'm looking at this and I'm trying to go, it's like, do I see any more connections between characters that we can really take here? I guess other than everyone wanting to kill Izia.
Doesn't count. We don't count
Doesn't count
opening.
there.
We don't count opening parts as character connections.
Oh yeah, no, I'll concede. What I'm doing is completely unfair in terms of like, is any of this true? But
Well,
I'm just curious to see if there's a reveal here.
remember, we watched 86, which in the first opening had Earth locations on it, and it doesn't happen on Earth. I told you my top 10 anime openings, Tower of Druaga, features them in a setting the show doesn't take place in.
とにかく人数が多くて線が一本ぶち切れたチームらしい。初日から欠席なんて知らないったら。とにかく平和島静雄ってやつには近づくなよ。折原いざや。こいつはやばいから絶対に関わるなよ。ああ、サイモンってさ。
Remember the guy who throws the vending machine?
Yeah,
the character I put under you in the overlay. And the character who tried to get a girl to commit suicide is the guy I put under me in the overlay.
Glad to see you chose the most questionable character possible.
So I'm just saying, if you need to tie yourself to a character in the show, you're the bartender guy, and I'm the evil person.
And now we have Simon. Oh, hey, he's interacting with great characters.
He's not, though.
He's trying to give a flyer to
They're
him.
avoiding him. That's not interacting.
It counts.
I don't think it does.
Да. Да, спасибо. Спасибо вам.
Watching an anime to watch people talk in Russian.
I just think it's weird how he's like scary to everyone at the start.
And he's just this nice guy.
Well, no, I mean he's scary on purpose. Like he intentionally turned and looked down at them menacingly, and then was friendly.
この町は異邦人で溢れている。彼も、そして彼女も何かを探し
The Legion tried to get her.
求めこの町にやってくる。何かを変えようとこの町。
All right, we got maybe a bit of a thesis here. Let's see where we go.
It's the new thesis.
クラス委員がまだ決まってないが、誰か立候補する者はいないか？
Classic school response, like, does anyone want to do this? No.
園原アンリか。他はいないか。じゃあ女子は決定。園原、あとは頼むな。
See, they're absolutely enthusiastic about this.
しでクラス委員をやりたい人いませんか？
All the boys have blushing faces.
やってみたいような。でもめんどくさいような。でも他の人にやられるのもなんだか尺なような。
Hesitate and lose.
お前やれよ。マジで俺
No one else can figure out if they're gonna.
はい。竜ヶ峰帝です。園原さん、明日の他のクラスとの連絡会だけど、僕こういうのあんまりやったことなくて。
The criminal's coming.
No, he's the one that was ogling her during the first part of second episode.
Right, right.
自分から積極的にラブラブランデブーでハンターチャンスとは。はいはい。だが最後の一押しが。
Where'd you get the purple chalk from, bro? You just keep that in your bag?
出てきたってウハウハの学園ラブコメ生活は送れないねと。別にそう。
Like the guy in your background is on the show.
ナンパに行こう。
I love it when your house is timed perfectly for the reactions.
俺も適当だ。見たいな。そりゃ高校生に誘われたってね。
It's fine, they probably only spoke Russian.
この町にやってくる者たち。
Actually, I think those were actually the Russian
そう
girls.
簡単に変化など起こりはしない。場所が変わろうともそこにいるのは確実に昔のままの自分だ。
嫌だ。私彼氏いるから。
関係ない。ナンパされてお茶したってそれは浮気のうちに入らないから。
ねえねえ知ってる？ユミの新しい彼氏ダラーズなんだって。
Second time we've heard about them.
Yeah, they keep popping up.
Well, they were in the first episode and now this one.
この町には徒党を組み、時に暴力的な行為を行う者がいる。彼らはそれぞれの組織ごとに自分たちの象徴となる色を持っており、カラーギャングと呼ばれている。しかし、
You remember most of these from Mob Psycho.
そのチームは特定の色を持たない。強いて言えば無色透明。それがダラーズのチームカラーだ。専用のウェブサイトを
You can tell they're colorless by the fact that their logo is made up of every color.
と言われている。
最近起きてる切り裂き魔の事件もダラーズの仕業だって噂だよね。そうなの？
だから詳しい話はお茶でもしながら。
ダラーズ？知ってますよ。どんな人たちなんですか？ダラーズはすごいんです。
Back to Twitter.
この間チャイニーズマフィアと話をつけたらしい。
More like a chat room.
その前のヤクザが刺された事件もそのダラーズの下っ端の仕業なんだって。
ああ、まったく。お前が暗い顔してるから逃げられちまったじゃないか。
Wait, you think everybody in the background that's colorless is one of the dollars?
Oh gosh, hey,
That it's
you're
not,
onto something.
that they're not gray but colorless?
虎の穴一緒に行く。
今日はスージー安田先生のサイン会っすよ。
I guess what we should also be doing is watching to see if anyone is like wearing specific colors as well to identify themselves.
Literally every
If they're
one of
with these
our
other
main
games.
characters is wearing a different color. That would not be a helpful observation.
見たことはないんですけど。
Plus the school uniforms are a very specific color.
Right, exactly. So you're looking for extra details.
本当にあるチームでもあんまりそういうのに近づかない方がいいですよね。
ダラーズ？サンシャイン60の地下に封印されたフレームヘイズと日夜戦いを繰り広げているんすよね。
違うよユマッチ。
No, that's Fight Club. Stop talking about it.
ピピルピルピル天使だよ。
どうしてダラーズのことなんか聞くんだ？
あ、どうしてって言われても。さっきの話聞いててビビっちまったのか？
俺もいろいろ噂は聞いている。かなり危ない奴らだってな。
そうなんですか？
興味本位で近づかない方がいい。余計な詮索はよしておくことだな。
門田さんかっこいい。
大人なムードの主人公の味気分キャラって感じ。
親父好きな女子に人気なタイプ。
いやいやうるさい。
街には
But you're not middle aged, though.
いけない場所もあ
It's
る
all falls
I definitely
apart.
like the casual vibe that the show has here.
That's not a great ad for a restaurant.
You won't die. Yeah, I'll go to that restaurant.
No, he
Guaranteed
said
no death.
his first line was, "You won't get sick."
Headless Rider clearly has a head on.
But also middle of the day appearance.
What a real reaction there.
街に飲まれ姿を消す者もいる
It's too early for the supernatural.
街に探す者
会える。必ず見つかる。俺の愛が彼女を呼び
And our guy who left school first day. Legion girl.
ハリマさん。
Not too many people with the next car, right?
Well, she wouldn't have seen that from the back.
街は危険
Also, I guess the 86 implication of you can get that next scar from someone strangling you,
Right, right.
which is weird.
ここにも
Oh my gosh, his eyes. It's the boy.
So they're just pointing out all the dangers in town.
変化を求めていたはず
Interesting, the game of show had colors, but the people playing it didn't.
新しい街で何かが変わるような何かが起こるような気がしていただが自分を待っていたのは一見きらびやかな街の影に潜む深い
It's funny that this anime has like a noir, like narrator
闇
going
自
with
分はこの街で生きてゆけるか
Yeah, there's like so many little combinations of things here.
気持ちはわかる。
We got like the typical day-to-day classroom vibe because of this guy. We got the noir, we got the occult.
乗り越えろ。立派な池袋人になると誓ったのなら、この試練を乗り越えてみせるのだ。帝。竜神ね、帝。ま、俺がついてくから心配すんなって。気楽。それからナンパの時は明るく笑顔だ。でも社会人をナンパするのはさすがに無理だと思うけど。何言ってんの？話しかけるの自体が目的だからいいんだよ。
あんたさ、播磨美香がいなくなったのにでかい顔してるみたいじゃない？クラス委員になったんだって？
I mean, there's no point. I guess Genjuro girls can also wear weird ass contact lenses.
Yeah.
Yo, you! 俺のダラスブラザー呼んでっからワクワクしようぜ、
この手の輩がやる
I didn't think they could put in someone who's more extra into the situation.
ここまでベタだとすがすがしいね。
やっぱり助けるべきだよな。でもどうやって？
君たちやめたまへ。
ダメだ、やられる。じゃあ。
やあ、園原さん、偶然だね。じゃあ。
これだ、これしかない。いじめ？
Seems reasonable.
やめさせに行くつもりなんだ。
Oh, the one person you don't want to take advice from.
想像を超える出来事がたびたび起きる
何？
何？
Dude. Dude.
かっこ悪い。実に良くない。
おっさんには関係ねえだろ。
ああ、君たちがここで殴られようがのたれ死のうが関係ない。俺が君たちを殴っても、君たちがまだ23歳の俺をおっさんと呼ぼうが、君たちと俺の無関係は永遠だ。はあ？人間
Shut the fuck up. I'm saying. Shut the fuck up.
As soon as someone starts referring to other people as humans, something's up, right?
People who fuck around with me have bad luck.
There you go. Reveal yourself to be the craziest person in the room. Get everyone to run. That phone's actually kind of sturdy.
Yo, hey man!
Something wrong with your dick?
I love him. I love him.
I guess to be fair, he did just swing with possibly... Okay.
What?
He had a knife. You didn't see it?
Yeah.
I thought he wouldn't have the guts to swing at all, so...
Oh, he just loves being an asshole.
Well, no, I mean... You wouldn't fuck with that dude, right? He literally just shaved your head with one swing. That's inches away from a scalping.
When someone starts pulling out the anime sword techniques, you know, I'm done. I'm done. You win. Whatever you wanted, you got it.
おかげさまで。珍しいっすね。イザヤさんが池袋にいるなんて。この人が敵に回しちゃいけない折原イザヤ。こいつは俺のただの友達です。俺は折原イザヤ。よろしく。龍ヶ峰帝です。エアコンみたいな名前だね。はあ。それでなんで池袋に？
Okay.
Yeah, what is subtext? There's stuff happening in the subtext that we just don't know yet, and then now he's dead. That's death.
あれコンビニのゴミ箱。今飛んできた。なんで？やべえ。イザヤ君。
Well, here's our two characters from Overlay. Yours and mine, Griff.
Alright, let's fight. Let's go.
二度と来るなって言わなかったっけ？イザヤ君よ。
しずちゃん、君が働いてるのは西口じゃなかったっけ？
とっくに首さ。それにその呼び方はやめろって言ってんだろ。俺には平和島静雄って名前があるってよ。
That saxophone?
Yeah, it's going wild. We're building up to a fight.
君に罪をなすりつけたこと、まだ怒ってるのかな？
怒ってないぞ。ただぶん殴りたいだけさ。
しずちゃんの暴力ってさ、理屈も言葉も通じないんだから苦手だよ。困ったな。
Super strength versus mad knife skills. Let's go.
Well, super strength versus madness. Why would you surround both of them? The guy had this hat.
Alright, he's still just a normal person.
打ちどころが悪けりゃ死んじまうって分かってるよな。分かっててやったってことは殺す気だったってことだよな。じゃあ何をされても文句はね。
Not what you want to hear at this point. Out of your clothes.
圧倒的な力を持つ者は人に本能的な恐怖を抱かせる。
Out of most of your clothes and a shoe.
暴力だけで生きているような。いや、彼そのものが暴力。
Berserk mode, let's go. Ah, this is what I expected today, but it is what I want.
eyes starting watching it happen one by one.
And of course he's out. What? Where'd you come from, man?
From above.
見どころが間違っているが念のため答えると、ビルの最上階に住むお得意さんのところに出前に来ていたのだ。
So jumps a couple stories to catch a vending machine.
He's just Superman.
I just feel like watching the battle of like street level superheroes.
I know, right? It's like you just got involved in a super brawl. What are you going to do except watch or run?
Who's saving who?
Oh, that's even funnier, actually.
町が贈り物をくれることもある。とても小さな、だが大きな奇跡を。
Well, at least you two have something to talk about now.
新たな物語が始まる可能性。そして。
ありがとうございました。失礼します。
For Elsie?
何も始まらないこともある。
So she confused her for him while looking for him, while at the same time he was out looking for her, the girl she confused her for.
It's a story confusion.
ダラーズが喧嘩売ったらしいぜ。
静雄とダラーズの抗争勃発
らしいですよ。いや違いますよ。私偶然見てたんですけど、あの人たちはダラーズの偽物だったんです。それじゃなくって、ついさっきダラーズと名乗る人たちが通行人を襲ってお金を奪ったって。怖いですね。ひどいですね。ダラーズって気をつけた方がいいですよ。
In a dollar-centric episode.
どうも本当に怖いですね。
I got $1 for every time they mention the dollar. You know, I'd probably have like, what, $14 now?
I'd buy that for $1.
サイモンに邪魔された。しかしあいつ何しに来やがったんだ。
この町は違法人で溢れている。何かを探し、何かを
He's skipping.
この町にやってくる。何かを変えようとこの町に。
いらっしゃい、いらっしゃい。
かくいう私も。
寿司食いね。
Well, it was action this time.
A lot of stuff happened, and I'm just left going like, wait, was that the focus the whole time, Simon? We had like 4 different things going on.
I mean, if we consider the characters as different superheroes on a street level thing, then I guess Simon is the neutral force, and maybe, shoot, what the heck is his name? Simon's like a neutral force, and maybe Hiwajima is a good guy. If Orihara is our bad guy.
I guess so. We could definitely put them in opposition to each other at the very least.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, it could turn out to be a twist, and Orihara is the good guy, and Hiroshima is the bad guy. But it very much does feel, at least, at the very least, Simon is like a neutral force on the street.
I mean, the question they all have is obviously like, what is he doing here? Even they're not really sure, right?
Which one?
But,
Simon or Orihara?
Izawa, I think. Wait, sorry. Let me...
Simon or Orihara?
Izuya.
So Orihara.
Right, yes. Everyone is wondering what he's there. They're not really sure what he's about, and we're kind of like in that same.
僕の話を聞いてくれ。他に類のない僕と彼女の話をどうか最後まで聞いてほしい。次回経営総長。きっとあなたは戦々律律、心神喪失になるだろう。
Okay, so next episode is about Shinra and Celti then.
Yeah, more hanging out with Celti.
Well, no, this sounded more like Shinra.
Gosh, yeah, I'll have to get like character voices and names like better associated soon.
Well, no,
here.
he was also on screen. It was his voice, but it also was him mostly.
Shinra. Oh yeah. I see them now. Okay, yeah, no. So, gosh, what do I even say about this one? This was literally just like figuring out where people stand today, I guess.
Well, I see one thing I can do right here.
There you go. Pretty sure that feeling is mutual. There you go. All right. So, Theta, what would your takeaway be from this episode? How would you summarize the meaning of this one? What do you think?
Well, I mean, it feels like we're obviously starting a relationship between Henri and last names or first names, Henri and Mikado, and obviously also Mika and Seiji.
And then I guess like Simon and why he's here as just like a focus.
No, not really. Not at all, in fact.
I don't know. Like the episode is like trying to frame it that way.
Okay.
But I guess he's more just like the
My question
narrator.
then is, if you're saying that Simon and why he's here, the first question is obviously, okay, why is Simon here?
He said himself, like, well, it's a city of foreigners and everyone wants to change stuff and you come here to want to change things. Which...
Wait.
I gotta like roll over this and go, it's like, all right, there's meaning
Griff,
in here.
Wait, are you saying Simon was the narrator this whole episode?
That's the only way I can take the framing of it. I know that's not his voice, obviously.
That literally was not sarcasm. I didn't think Simon was the narrator, so I didn't know. I don't think Simon was the narrator, because Simon has a very deep and stunted, I would almost say, way of talking.
Right, exactly. I'm not saying here that he's the voice of the narrator. I'm saying from the story framing perspective, as him telling the story of like what this city is about, this is his perspective on events. Does that check out?
I would think if that was true, he'd be narrating.
See, exactly. That's what I'm thinking.
Well, because he is not the directive of any of the characters, except for Kaido, who encounters him, and then the one time he jumped into the frame. But it seems more likely, because every time the narrator's talking, it was like mostly about Kaido. Like, because you think that Mikado came here to reinvent himself, but then it focuses on the person you think is the most confident, and then he has that slight moment of weakness in the middle of the episode to show you that the narrator is talking about him, where he's been completely unsuccessful in his attempt to change himself, versus Mikado, who has all these fears that we saw in episode 1, and is already changing himself, apparently more than Kaida has.
And like mid-episode, literally they just have like the you take yourself wherever you go kind of mentality. It's just like there's stuff here. I guess this is just like the best way I would say it is this is the starting block then, for real.
What's
like,
episode 3?
The first episode was just telling us what's going on. Episode 2 was like an explanation of the story, and now here's Mikado. Mikado, this is your arc. This is what you're getting. This is where you're going. I think that's maybe the way to take it. I gotta ask, though, one big thing, right? The hell is up with Kita?
What do you mean?
I get this vibe from him.
I literally was just talking about him.
Yeah. Well, no, Kita, not Makoto, because Kita's just like there as the guide, right?
No, I literally just got done talking about him. I told you that the narrator was talking about him, and then we had that whole focus on him in the middle of the episode. That's who I was talking about.
I thought you were talking about Makoto because that's all I saw.
No, I literally said the narrator starts talking. You think you're talking about Makoto, but Makoto was actively changing himself as the narrator's talking. And then we focus on Kita during the classroom, and then we see that he's having no success in trying to change himself. And then when the narrator stops talking, he has that little breakdown in front of Makoto where you realize the entire conversation was about Kita. That's what I was just saying.
Oh gosh, no, now I have the context for it. Now I get it, but then same question. What's up with Kita?
I just told you.
In a different, broader sense. What
the
hell is he actually about?
He is your friend that moved away when you were sad and pathetic. And then you come back into his life and you're still sad and pathetic. And he still feels like he's the number one shit in your life. But you come to realize that your sad, pathetic friend is making strives to change themselves into a better person. And you've been trying to change this whole time and failing to do so. And your friend is quickly going to become better than you in all of the ways that they looked up to you before. That's the problem with Kita.
Right. I think this is all really good read. This is a perfect interpretation of what we got. And I'm just now, in my mind, the background thing that I have is like, where does he fit in relative to like the weirder stuff that is happening? Because like, I feel like watching his behavior... No, hold up. Watching his behavior earlier, I feel like he's spotting people who are in gangs while he's hanging out with Makoto, trying to do all these things. Like, he's having some emotional reaction to that as he sees literally groups of them going by. So what's his involvement, what's his story in the background of all of that before Makoto returned is something that's on my mind right now.
Not returned. Makoto moved out here.
Or...
They used to live.
They met again.
They used to live in a different area. He moved away. He's been here a while. Then Makoto moved out here, I think, for school.
I think the last thing I want to say then is this is the all-stariest cast of all-stars I've ever starred.
Well,
no one has more time than anyone else.
Well, it's a shared ensemble cast because every time we focus on a person, we then go back and see what they were doing during a certain other thing, or the background event that other characters have been in. We then see what the interaction was about, and then continue their story from there.
Right, yeah. Because I keep trying to think, like, who's our antagonist, who's our protagonist. Maybe that just doesn't really apply.
Well, I think the primary conceit so far, again, we're only 3 episodes in, is that everyone is their own protagonist. That we keep focusing on everybody's point of view, and that everyone's point of view, they're the main person, and that everybody else is associated with them. I guess I don't know if Henri's story is fitting in with that, considering that she seems to be, even in her own story, second to somebody else.
Yeah.
Because her story is about looking for a guy and then encountering another guy. She's failing the Bechdel test already, but the idea being that even in her own story, she's secondary, kind of the same way Ryu is secondary to her own story, because her own story is other people are making me sick to the point that I want to kill myself, which is literally other people in my own story are more important to me. I want out of the story.
Yeah. All right, then. I think I've gotten out everything I need to here. Theta, you good over there?
Yeah.
Then in that case, I think we're going to go ahead and wrap it up here for today. This has been Stoneface Reactions, everybody. I'm Griffin, that's Theta, and we'll catch you next time. See you around. Hey everybody, thanks for watching another Stoneface Reactions. If you have an idea of another video we could go ahead and watch, go ahead and put it in the comments down below and we'll add it to the wheel. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let us know what you thought about this video, what parts you liked. And until then, we'll see you next time. Is this too goofy?